Have you seen the movie Ready Player One?
No, I'm aware of it though.
Okay, great film. A lot of good '80s and nostalgia movies in there as well. And but the idea is that they're in a virtual world called the Oasis, and they have this helmet on, but it's much more than even like Oculus or any of these VR things now, where you can interact with people, you can see people, and you can
Hmm.
have that sociability that I think we really need as human beings. And
Hmm.
so maybe when we get to that point, there's something to be said for us to all be in homes. I don't think it would be good for us, but at least we have some sort of visual feel that you're with other people. Have you
Right,
thought about
right.
that at all?
Right. So I mean, that's an interesting idea too, that whole idea of embodiment. And if you're familiar with Jonathan Haidt's work,
Sure.
his book that came out last year really shook, shook education in terms of phone use. And, we in the United States had the same uh, things happen that you're talking about in Canada, where a number of states, I think it was 14 at my last count, have been passing legislation to limit or eliminate phones.
Mm,
And phones are a little bit different than the internet in general, in that it's interesting. He noted that it was the advent of the front-facing camera rather than the phone itself or the internet itself that really led to the mental health decline. Meaning front-facing camera where you take selfies.
right.
So I think that's interesting. But in terms of the emotional aspect, I think it's important to remember that kids are not just short humans. And there are things that work for adults that just aren't going to work for children, because children are getting different things from school than what an adult would get in the same situation. So I think adults can learn very effectively online. I think adults often are very motivated in terms of when they take a course, they know what they want to get out of it. And so if you put information in front of an adult and they're motivated, and they can often uh, figure out how to learn, get over their own challenges, um, and can get a lot from that experience in a way that a kid cannot. And I think A, we forget that. We forget what it was like to be a kid. And B, sometimes we think, well, those kids just need to tough it up, or work harder, or
Right.
this is something they're just going to have to get used to. And um, while there may or may not be an element of truth to that, the reality is that kids are getting different things from school than what an adult would get from a same learning situation. And you spoke to some of this earlier when you talked about um, the social aspect, going in and wanting to see their friends, and for some students it may be sports. Um, but there's even more going on than that, and I think that was one of the things I wanted to do in the book, is to really map that out for someone who is outside the field. And it's not that I have any special powers of seeing. There are all kinds of aspects that people who have been working in a field understand, that people who haven't been in the field don't understand. You just get expertise over time. And
Right.
so I wanted to make something that was like a handbook, a manual, a blueprint, so that someone who was outside the field could pick it up and say, okay, I can see how these things are connected. And if I want to build a tool to support this aspect of this organization, of this enterprise, I see what I need to enhance and what I need to stay away from.